Howdy nerds. Today, not at the store. I'll be at the store later, of course, but I thought I'd go and clear my mind and go up one of my favorite canyons here in southern Utah. And we got a whining Bruce over there. He's been whining the entire time because he wants to go. Chloe over there digging a rock out of the ground. And who knows where Buttons ran off to. But anyway, I thought I'd give a just kind of walk around my favorite canyon. Like I said, to kind of clear my mind, because as you've seen, we've got some tumultuous things going on in the market, where we got a trade war going on, which is not doing any favors to anything. And now we have both crypto and the stock market crashing. So that's kind of the topic for today that I want to talk about. Is usually the TCG market has a huge correlation between how well the stock market and the crypto market are doing, because a lot of money moves both ways. Unfortunately, that's the case. A bunch of idiots have put their money in TCGs. We saw the Pokemon craze that happened in, I would say, started really in November and really peaked in February, of not just collectors, but speculators went absolutely nuts with Pokemon, where everyone thought they were just going to get rich off Pokemon cards, which of course led to the overprinting now of Pokemon, and starting to see some warning signs there with Pokemon, with both Surging Sparks and Twilight Masquerade getting multiple reprints in the booster bundles as well as the booster boxes. And mind you, I can't even get them from distributors at decent cost, because distributors are incredibly greedy, which all of these things I think are going to inevitably lead to not a collapse, but definitely a recession as well in the Pokemon market. So I personally don't think that the Pokemon market can handle a lot of reprints. I just wait for Journey. I mean, just kind of wash your hands, Pokemon. You were successful with those sets. Let them be successful, and let the market just look forward to Journey together and then other sets. And if it continues to be hot, then I think it'd be the time to maybe trickle some stuff in. So I think it's just a little bit too soon to go back into the era of really overprinting Pokemon. There have been some people, I've watched some YouTube videos, maybe I'll have to link some here, about how there have been a lot of big names in Pokemon that have quit as well. Some of the big box openers, because Pokemon is no longer fun anymore, with the, again, the speculation just taking over, where instead of becoming a fun collectible market, is now turned into people fighting little kids at Costco's and Targets to get the latest set just so they can flip on eBay. Look at this I just found here. That's pretty cool. What kind of feather is this? What do we have? What bird? What massive bird dropped these feathers? Some sort of eagle or hawk, it looks like. Those are some big feathers. Buttons. Got a nest up here somewhere, maybe in the trees. But Buttons is gonna eat the feathers. And got a corpse back here of something the bird killed. Get out of there, Buttons. Yeah, there we go. Maybe that was actually the bird that got eaten. Anyway, we'll try not to stay too distracted. I got my lovely fishing pole here too. Maybe we'll try to catch a fish. And we got a bossy dog that's telling us to go. Okay, Chloe, give me some time. So anyway, that's just kind of going on Pokemon, which is definitely some worrisome with the overall feel, because Pokemon definitely is one of these games that is all about feeling, about how like the collectors feel about Pokemon. As long as it's fun to collect, as long as everyone's into it. We saw, like I said, the peak in January and February. We saw everyone from little kids to people in their 30s and 40s. I mentioned in one of my videos we had a bunch of new customers I've never seen before in our store. This new demographic kind of called the husband, wife, and kid, small kid, where the entire family is into collecting Pokemon, which is really cool. I mean, that's kind of how the baseball card era was in the 80s and 90s. So again, we got to be worried though, because those markets can flip on their head. I typically like utility-driven games like Magic, because I think they have more staying power than collectible games. However, Pokemon still does have that going for it as well. Now let's talk Magic. I was going to do a video. Let's get past this river real quick, and then we'll talk about Magic. And maybe we'll do some fishing here. See if I can actually get over this without killing myself. So, whoop, hop. There's one hop and two hops, and we are across the river. Come on, Buttons. And Buttons just sloshes through. So let's get past this noisy river, and then we'll talk some Pokemon and go to some of my favorite fishing spots up here. Not sure if we'll catch anything. This river's been poisoned a lot lately, trying to get rid of some invasive rainbow trout. They want to turn this back into like a cutthroat fishery with the native Bonneville cutthroat. And unfortunately, it's hard to get rid of all the rainbows that are in these streams forever. So they keep poisoning it. So unfortunately, it's been pretty lackluster lately. Anyway, magic. So magic is also very worrisome for me as we're starting to see a lot of bloat enter the market with what I like to call, or other people like to call, the universes within sets, the hat sets, the wonky sets, the whimsical sets, the Outlaws of Thunder Junction, the Murders of Karloff Manor, the Aether Drift, and even put Dustmourne in that category. The market's starting to reject them. It's just not doing as well as they thought the game would be with these kind of what I call whimsical sets. And it's kind of funny, the two sets that have been done well in the last year or two have been Bloomborough and Foundations. And you can see that maybe Bloomborough is a bit of a kind of whimsical set too, but at least it still has that fantasy feel that is appealed to the Magic demographic. And then we have Foundations that did really well, and I think the reason why it did really well is it was Magic. It was just classic Magic. So we're starting to see a lot of bloat now with those type of sets. Like I said, the whimsical sets starting to find a lot of like collectors going back at distribution level, and it's just not a good sign going into this kind of market crash. So yeah, I am not sure exactly what the right moves are to make right now. We're going to have to follow it closely, but I'm going to be expecting some blowouts, some sales on things like play boosters from the whimsical set era. We've already seen Karloff Manor being dumped, and it's weird because all the cards in these sets are actually, the box values in them are pretty good, and it's just the market is rejecting them. So it's going to be very, very interesting how Tarkir is received, because it is the first Magic set in a while, like traditional Magic set between Universes Beyond and the Universes Whimsical Within. It's been pretty rough for Magic trying to hit that feel of Magic. So again, I think Tarkir is make or break for whether we're going to go on to a full-on Magic recession again. I know Final Fantasy, though, the whole thing is Final Fantasy is going to sell. And the problem is, though, is Final Fantasy just going to kind of blanket or cover up like the overall, like if one product is selling amazingly well but the rest of Magic is struggling, I don't think that you can call that a win for Magic. It just shows that the Final Fantasy IP is super hot. And I think that's what happened with Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was record sales, but at the same time period, we had all the sets that just didn't sell. And, you know, I'm seeing bloat all around in the Magic market, all the way from how many stores are starting to dump product on places like TCG Player and eBay. Stores going out of business now because, man, too many people get into this stupid market thinking they can make it work. And you have to have definitely a certain personality. You have to be able to know what you're doing locally as well as online to make it actually work. There's better ways to make money. I trust me, people. There's better ways to make money than trying to flip cards on TCG Player. But anyway, yeah, we are going into a lot of unknowns again with the crypto market and the stock market crashing with all that correlation that usually comes in. So anyway, there's a nice little pool down here. Maybe I can set the camera up and we'll see if we can catch a fish down in here. Well, probably not now that the dogs have scared away, but let's go and check this out. So once upon a time, I caught almost a 6 pound, I think is what it ended up being, tiger trout in this little tiny stream. So they sit here and munch on frogs and little fish all day, and they're able to get massive. And this used to be a big waterfall. Unfortunately, it looks like this waterfall is broken now. We've had a lot of storms and like high water from the past few years. And yeah, that's kind of sad. There used to be a big waterfall. It was right here, and now it's been kind of destroyed. Let's go ahead and see if we can fish this pond. Maybe I'll set this camera up and see if we can catch ourselves a nice little fishy. See if I can get over this log without killing myself with this camera. Not as agile as I once used to be. Tomorrow I'm actually turning very old. So tomorrow's my birthday. So yeah, don't have the young legs like I once did. All right, let's see if we can set this up. See if I can give this a little, got a whiner up here that won't get crying. Set this up without destroying my expensive camera. Alrighty, that looks pretty good. Alrighty. Okay, Buttons, go away. Maybe I'll have to put this in another area because Buttons is determined to knock my camera in the water. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Let's see if we can put it somewhere else where we can get this. Buttons, go away, dude. He is determined. How about up here? There's a Buttons in the way. I am not an outdoors camera person. Bruce, be quiet. All right, see if we get this on camera. Like I said, I'm not sure what we're going to expect to catch in here. It's been a while and the dogs have already been splashing around. But we'll go ahead and see if there's anything in here. See if your old man can still fish. Nothing. Like I said, I don't know if they poisoned this recently either. Oh, little tiny fish was following it, so we know there is something in here. But unfortunately, that's what we're after, is little tiny fish. Hopefully we can find some bigger ones in here. And anyone wants a dog that won't shut up, just kidding, Chloe, we love you. All right, let's go on to the next spot. All right, maybe we'll take some little pictures of this cool canyon. So this is something that I want to do in the future. Like, I don't know how many years I have left in this TCG world, and I am super passionate about the outdoors. This is why people ask why I'm in little old Richfield, Utah. And here it is. Like, here I'm 20 minutes away from Richfield. I'm not gonna see another human today. Basically have this canyon to myself, where these beautiful, streams and waterfalls where the dogs can play. And just like with TCGs, I think my favorite thing in the entire world is like getting people to experience new things, trying out new things that I love. I think that's what drew me towards TCGs so much. Even since I was a little kid, I was always trying to get people into playing Magic the Gathering and trying to teach them Magic the Gathering. And it's the same with board games. And basically the whole reason why we started the store was it was just a fun way to get people into a world that I enjoyed, that I loved. I've always been a gamer since I was a little kid. Picked up Magic in 5th grade. I remember talking about Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy has a special place in my heart because it was like the first RPG type game on the NES that I played when I was a little kid. And I actually credit Final Fantasy and Dragon War 3. When I was in 1st grade, I was reading at like a 5th grade level, and when I was in 5th grade, I was reading at a 12th grade level. And I think that it was mostly in part due to games like Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior teaching me how to read. I had to learn how to read to play the game. And same thing, like, I don't think I'm an incredibly smart person. I just think that like TCGs and gaming in general have taught me things like problem solving. And I think they're just a lot of people rag on video games being like there have definitely been moments in my life where I think the video games have been a net negative, where I spent too much time playing Dota 2 or StarCraft rather than focusing on things that really mattered in my life. But TCGs, like my whole run with Magic the Gathering, when I had the Rogue Deck Builder channel and met everyone, went to conventions and played on the Pro Tour and that sort of stuff, that was a really cool time in my life that I've transitioned on to the more of the business end of stuff, but I still really, really like TCGs and bringing people into that world and teaching it. And the same thing, like, I'm trying to figure out how I can do this with with outdoors. I do think that people should experience more of this. I wouldn't call myself a big outdoorsman. You can see with my gear, I got a cheap Walmart fishing pole and, nothing special. Like, I've never really taken the time or the effort to really master fishing or all the outdoor stuff. My brother is huge into outdoors. He's a professional rock climber and guide. And eventually I do want to try to start something with him. So I'm still trying to figure out how I can incorporate the two together. Like, I have plans for building a little like clubhouse and some yurts, and maybe moving the game store, or like just making a small little game store in that little like yurt village that I want to build in a town that's very close to Richfield. I think it'd do quite well with tourism. Like I said, kind of melding the two together. We still want to do RogueCon one of these years, where we can get people here in Richfield to play some games, as well as go do some hiking, things like this. And this is just one canyon out of a million that exists in here. This is just one of my personal canyons, and a beaver has flooded the path as usual. So there's a beaver that this is usually a path, and they've built a beaver dam right down in here somewhere. So I'm gonna have to trudge through the swamp. So again, like I said, I've always liked bringing people into my world, kind of showing people new things, showing how they can have new adventures. I don't know, that's just my personality type. I've always been a very adventurous person and always been, you know, a very creative type. And I think TCGs have done, you know, wonders with having a creative outlet and kind of having those adventures. So yeah, again, there's a lot of, now I'm kind of getting off on a tangent and off of this whole market talk into the life of Kevin. So I hope you guys don't mind that. But yeah, I'm really at a crossroads. I don't know if it's a midlife crisis that's happening right now, or if I'm really just waking up to, you know, there's more out there than what I've been experiencing in the past few years. And admittedly, I've let kind of a lot of my hobbies slide with really pursuing this business and putting more hours into this business. I'm hoping to get to the point where I can find some kind of stability and better time management, where I can enjoy some of these hobbies like I used to, as well as pursue things like a family and, you know, all the things I put off in my life as I'm getting up there in age. So, you know, speaking of which, that's the whole thing. I'm sure I'm going to do some videos when I'm back in Moldova again this year with some plans. You know, I don't know where that's going to take me. I always thought about, you know, living abroad, wondering if that has any opportunities there. So again, Kevin is definitely at some crossroads with things to go on. So I don't know, this is kind of my shower thoughts of, I'm glad you guys are all on here with the journey here in the good old nature of when chaos is surrounding us. Like I said, it's very, very, very scary with the stock market crashing that much that soon. A lot of it is a price adjustment. The stock market and the crypto market should not have gained as much as they gained in such a short period of time. So there always is a market correction that happens. But basically why this latest crash is happening is just uncertainty. No one knows what this massive trade war is going to do. No one knows exactly how strong this economy is. And we're starting to see, you know, these investors cave under pressure where they'd rather just take the safe route than, you know, go into this bullish market. And the exact same thing I think is going to happen with a lot of TCGs. I wish it weren't the case. I wish that there wasn't so much investment money and speculative money in especially Magic and Pokemon, but it is what it is. Whenever a market reaches the market cap that something like Pokemon or Magic does, and we're in the hundreds of billions of dollars or not hundreds of billions, hundreds of millions of dollars, excuse me, in these markets. I think both Pokemon and Magic did over $1 billion, right, last year, if I know correctly. So whenever there's that type of money, of course you're going to get the speculative and investment money into this mix. So there's going to be some crazy times ahead of us, and so I advise all of you, just go find some things to unwind, relax, realize there's more to this world than cardboard, and get out there and pursue your dreams and your hobbies. And, you know, life is short. You never know what's around the corner of what it can bring you. So been thinking a lot lately. And again, a lot of this is just the Patreon's taken off, the business is taken off. We're in great shape. So don't think this is some sort of doom and gloom of what's going on. But I think during these times, it actually gets me more thinking about, you know, the future, rather than those sluggish times of trying to, again, slug it out, trying to make things work. So hopefully I can position myself in the near future to, you know, start pursuing, like I said, a lot of these things I put off in my life due to either fear or being busy or just, you know, not really wanting to take those moves and those next steps. So, and again, I don't know what's going to happen with this like sort of channel too. What I do know is I like to be behind the camera, I like to create. You know, I wish I would get my act together and learn more video editing and whatnot. But I think that's really my strength, is talking behind the camera. I think that's what most people are here for. I know a lot of times it's the clickbait of the market videos of people just wanted to leave me hate comments that gets a lot of the views. But my favorite videos are just to do these. We used to do a series called Gone Roger, where we used to take these adventures and kind of show the adventures of Chloe and Zach and Buttons and Bruce and Talmadge. And unfortunately, we've kind of let those type of go. So maybe we'll get back to doing that. Anyway, now I'm definitely rambling. You can see, just wanted to show everyone a little bit into my life and my perspective and how beautiful this area is. So we'll have to see if there's enough interest in what I call RogueCon. I'm thinking of like a 3-day weekend sometime of doing board games, pizza, ice cream. So homemade pizza, homemade ice cream, board games, biking and rock climbing or something like this, like a hike. And if there's enough people who can fill like a couple weekends, I think that'd be fun. Fun way to, again, meet people and kind of bring them into my world of what I find enjoyable. Anyway, I've rambled long enough of this video. I apologize for my existential crisis that's going on right now of just thinking about, you know, the craziness of the world. And I guess this is my way of kind of managing that chaos and uncertainty, is just to talk and to get out and enjoy life while we still can. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with Gone Rogue Games. Thanks for watching. Are we gonna have a meltdown until we throw the stick? Ugh. Buttons! What'd we get, Bruce? Did we actually catch a fish? We did. Should we throw it back or do you want to eat it? He's licking his lips. I think he wants to eat it. Good little size one in this tiny little stream.